Hello. Happy to be here once again to continue our chakra journey. Of course, I'll have a review of how we actually got here. But before I get into that, I want to start this how we end it. So if you can look at the first page that you have, you'll see the throat chakra sigil or throat chakra mandala. No, you don't even have to flip. It's right there. Yes, this is going to be a part of our meditation. Meditative practice. A lot of times we don't necessarily know what to focus on or how to meditate, and it becomes very difficult for us. But I hope that if you guys read your books and really work through the exercises, really understand Chakra Nova, that you will normalize meditation in your life as you grow up. You know, not looking at it like, oh my God, I got to meditate, blah, blah, blah. But in your 30s, you feel me? I feel that y'all should just meditate like y'all eat. Just to be holistic and balanced individuals, adults. And it's going to really give you a leg up in reference to your peers. Part of this conversation is that you get what you want out of life. And I got a quick question for y'all. Who is going to provide you with what you want? Okay. Right. So we all know that, but I want to give you the instructions of listening to yourself, but also following yourself. So keep a thought of this mandala, of this throat chakra, of this sigil, of this picture when we get into our meditation. Try to remember it, try to visualize it, because this will assist you as it has assisted me in finding your particular voice. We're going to fly through this material because the reality of educating you on the throat chakra is not going to mean nothing. I'm going to be real with y'all. If you serious about your throat chakra, you serious about speaking your truth, you're going to have to put in the time and effort to simply listen to yourself. Now, when I was driving here, I was thinking we like to input into ourselves. We like give ourselves all of our fears, all the things that we can't do and won't do, and how this person wouldn't help us. How many times do we stop that and just listen to the divine within ourselves? Because when you was 2, 12, 24, 34, the divine within yourself is going to be timeless, ancient, and you're always going to be that, and you're always going to have this within yourself. But at a young age, how many of you fully realize that your age is not relative to your 20s? Your age is relative to how much you understand yourself and how deeply you'll be able to listen to yourself, because you are millions of years old. This is the facts. This is just a different lifetime in the long stream of your life and existence, which is ancient. This is what it means to be black. Okay? This is why they riddle me this. Why do they not tell you where you existed before slavery? Have no idea. Like, just black people just got shipped in slavery. Now we in America, and we just supposed to start at 16, 19.
They even refer to them as like we took slaves from Africa
and brought them here.
How were they slaves before they were slaves?
But what were they before they were slaves? What were their history? If you were the reason for that, to simplify it, is because you would get into the fact that you are a divine representation of the universe in this moment, in this space and time. I need y'all to realize that before y'all start beating yourselves up and start telling yourselves that you can't do this. You can build a pyramid because you have built pyramids or associated in the formation of the calculation of pyramids. And that might sound completely far out, but it's just the truth. Because in John chapter 1, verse 1, it states, "In the beginning was the Word, And the Word was with God. And the Word was God. The Word was God. Okay? Everything you say is a representation of your God force energy. Even the things that you say you can't do. As a God, you can say, I can't do that. And wallakazam, like magic. Now, I dare you to say what you can do. I dare you to say what you will do. And like magic, it will happen. So the work in activating your throat chakra is saying what you will become. And if the whole world says, you know what, that sounds a little crazy, that sounds a little weird, it doesn't shake you or waver you, because you're not trying to impress people. You're trying to connect to yourself. And this is really the goal for all of us. Next page. If I speak in tongues of men and angels, but have not love, I am only a resounding gong or clanging cymbal. Meaning that if you have all of the spiritual powers in the whole world, but you don't love your brother and your sister, you just making noise out here in these streets. However, if I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have the faith that can move mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. So you can have all, like, everything that you wish for, and you get it, you'll have it. But I promise you, you won't be satisfied. If you can think about ways that you could uplift humanity, if you can think about ways to send out positive energy, then that is more important than all of the things that you imagining for yourself. And the reality of that is that y'all can start that right now today. Y'all got speakers coming in, and at the best that y'all can do is just listen to a deep level, or figure out how you can assist these people, or figure out how your love or heart consciousness speaks to you in that moment. And the key is following it. Because your heart tell you to do stuff every single day. That bum walking down the street, I got some extra ones, let me give it to him. I don't feel like crossing the street. Keep going. Your heart told you to go across the street, get a bum that extra dollar that you had in your pocket, but you ain't listen. And this is where you got to tune in your heart space. Because really, if you give a bum $2, I guarantee you'll get $200 within 2 weeks. 2 turns into $200 easy. I love giving bums money. Whatever they call it, you know, the vagrants, the less fortunate ones. But they're gods to me. It's like, for real, how I view it is like I'm doing something for God. That's how I process it. And I never felt like I didn't get that money in return. It wasn't never nothing that I was losing. I was always gaining something. So always think about that when you're in the presence of your brothers and sisters. When you give to your brothers and your sisters, you ain't never losing. And if you truly want to be successful, you want to get into a habit of giving to your brothers and sisters consistently, because now you have the reputation of, oh, this person is a giver, a provider. So let me support whatever the hell that they doing. I get support from people that just know that I'm going to do the right thing. And it's like, I got a Patreon. Just people that donate every month, and it's been happening for years. So just because I am the person that I am, right? And so I just would hope whatever aspect of your life that you can give to people, that's going to be your key to success. If you continuously think about how you're going to make it, how you're going to be this great person, but you're not trying to organize and help you, but what y'all got already set up, that's really answering the questions. But you might not even realize that you in the presence of God and doing God's work, or have been doing God's work for however long this organization has been created. So, and probably even before that, because it could have been 1,000% sure that before we were even incarnated, we said we're going to meet in 2022 and we're going to be talking about the chakras and further deeper into that. And this is how you realize the spirituality facts of the world. But hopefully you're able to tune into your God force energy. Next page.
I'm glad you said incarnation and not reincarnation.
I mean, I don't. It's just a concept, you know. But how did we get here? Before we start talking about the throat chakra, I always like to give a review, and I try to make sure that we're honest in sequentially raising our chakras. Listening to me talk about this is not going to activate your chakras. You actually reading the book, doing the exercises, making it a part of your daily repertoire and understanding is going to activate your chakras. You got to want it for yourself. So first part, root chakra, grounding. See, when you ground and connect to source, that creates a different emotional response to life, because when you're disconnected, that is, yes, right here. Yep. When you're disconnected from source, your emotions are naturally messed up. They're supposed to be messed up because it's trying to direct you to source. So once you connect to source, you're like, got it. Now I feel great. Now my solar plexus, my soul is out in the forefront. The reality of your soul is that it don't want you to be broke. It don't want you to be in the background. It don't want you to be less than. It don't want you to be poor. It wants you to have everything that everybody else has in abundance, but you have to bring that energy out. But it comes from connecting to source, the reality that you are the universe. You got to really identify that within your thoughts. And this creates the emotional response, and this allows your solar plexus to rise out. Now, the universe is smart. You have a heart chakra. Your heart chakra then determines, am I going to create this ivory tower with all of my power, meaning a mansion, a car, isolation in the suburbs, DoorDash, shipped, everything delivered to me. I don't got to deal with humans. I just got all the money in the world. Or do I find purpose with this solar plexus energy? The heart chakra is compassion. It's having the understanding that you don't live in this world by yourself, and what are you going to do about it? And this balances your solar plexus, because your solar plexus says that you can, and that you will, and that you're unlimited, infinite. But you can take that and that can go straight to your head. It's called yellow magic, ego magic, where a person says, all right, I got this power. I'm going to be a supervisor of a call center. I don't know if you ever worked at a call center and seen a supervisor there. He just act like he just is the king of the world. He talking to you all types of crazy because he the supervisor of the call center. And, you know, that's yellow magic. And I don't want y'all to look at having a job as the ultimate of all ultimate. So next page. The most important aspect of the throat chakra is listening, and I'll explain that in our next slide. But we're going to deal with the element of the throat chakra, which is ether. And ether is a deep concept. And I'm going through all of this so we can have just a basic understanding, but very important that you read Chakra Nova, get through your books, and understand what's being said. Endocrine system versus the nervous system. When you're dealing with your throat chakra, you're really tapped into your endocrine system, so you can make the greatest changes in your life by altering your endocrine system. Your endocrine system is real spirituality. I'll explain that. Hormones, the thyroid gland, finding your voice, and then ultimately, what is all this about in reference to the throat chakra? And then, you know, answer any questions in a little quick meditation just so we can find our voice. So, as I stated earlier, the throat chakra is about listening. Our throat chakra is not our neck. This is our neck. This is our throat. So your ears, your mouth, and your neck is your throat. It's one organism. It's it's a whole thing. But the main important part of your throat is your ears. Okay? I'm going to read for y'all. Because the ear, nose, and throat are so intricately connected, they are able to function as one unit. with the pieces making up or supporting the whole. So I have fingers, palm, hand. Okay? Ears, mouth, neck, throat. Because they're so intricately connected, a disturbance in one can cause a problem in or for the other. So if you're not listening, your throat is not activated. And what are you listening to? You do not want to listen to me. You don't want to listen to your mama. You don't want to listen to your daddy. You want to listen to yourself. But you can't listen to yourself if you're constantly inputting to yourself. I ain't going to have no money. I ain't going to do this. That's not listening to yourself. That's talking to yourself. But to listen to yourself, you have to stop talking to yourself. And that allows the listening to take place. However, it might be a result of if you say you have your throat chakra is blocked, I wouldn't say that. I would just say start from the root, sacral, build it up to develop that expression. Because when I first started my spiritual journey, I was not teaching. I wasn't speaking like this. My nose was in books. I couldn't talk to nobody, honestly, because I didn't know what I was saying. I had to learn and relearn and learn some more and notebook, and throat chakra wasn't blocked. Didn't have nothing to express.
Yeah, I didn't know your ear. I feel this is amazing.
You gotta, it's very important to allow yourself to learn. You wake up every day and learn. Because the ignorance is waking up and saying, I know. And I got a quick question. What are you?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
The only thing that you know about yourself is what people told you. You're going to repeat something that you heard. So you got to really sit. Like, look at your shirt. Look at the shirt that you wear.
Yeah, amazing shirt that you wear.
Look at that shirt that you wear. You got to, let's talk about this. The secret societies, they say stuff like know thyself. And know thyself then breaks into an alchemical term, magnum opus. This is the great work. Okay? What is the great work? Know thyself. Know thyself is the great work. And as you begin to know yourself, then you'll start doing the right things. If you don't know yourself, you're not doing the right things. So stop assuming that you are. And don't as like, well, I didn't know that. It's a lot of stuff that I just don't know. But that's why I'm going to wake up and learn. And hopefully 50 years, I can say, boy, I just still don't know nothing. Don't know nothing at all. And hopefully I can learn something with my old self. Okay? So another aspect of this is because your word is your God and so much power in your word, you're not going to be taught to listen to yourself. You're going to be taught, listen to me. I got the answers. I got the key. If you can just listen to me, I'll set you free. And the reality is, it's never going to work. You're going to sit and you're like, well, I listened to you. I took your notes and it's not working for me. It worked for you because you got my money. But I'm just, asked out. So ultimately, when you begin to just stop determining the outside world is so important, and you got to work on this. It's not something overnight, but if you could just release what the outside world is influencing on you and begin to say, you know what, I'm going to give myself time. I don't want y'all to imagine that this is going to happen very quickly, because my spiritual process has been slowly but surely. That's all I know. But with that being said, I'm only thinking about how I can influence the world, not the other way around. So if you have an influence, a heavy influence, Netflix, HBO, music, stuff like that, stop it. Because it's influencing the way that you communicate with yourself. And honestly, that's the worst thing that can happen. And that's why it's so prevalent in our community, entertainment, music. Because now, instead of talking to myself, I let Netflix tell me who I am.
Social media.
Yeah, social media, Instagram, Snapchat. Go ahead.
So does it make sense, like, the more you start understanding yourself, why you can't sit around and watch TV?
1,000%. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Music like I used to. Like,
I can't
used to be
do it.
obsessed with music, and I can like within the last month of my life, I can actually drive in my car
And just not listen to nothing. Yeah.
But I thought I could never do that.
Same here. Same here. I used to think.
And these right here, everybody.
Everywhere you look.
It's like got to have it, but people don't understand the influence and the purpose. Now, of course, they're necessary in a sense.
In a sense, but it's the applications, right? The apps that you get on your phone that then have you tuned in to disconnecting you from source.
My sister asked me yesterday, she like, it was some TV show she watched. She like, you ain't never seen the TV show? She like, I don't even know why I asked you that. You probably don't even watch TV.
I can't even remember the last time I turned a TV on.
Yeah, I don't even, just sat down in front of a TV and said, all right, talk to me. I haven't done that in so long. I've just not done it, but my life still goes on. I'm growing. Bank account's still cool. Life is going like it's supposed to go. It's just I don't feel like, it's 8:00. Let me rush home and watch this program. Yeah, no. Power. No. As a people, that's all we're doing.
Put the gays on
there.
We're just watching the TV, and really, if you really think about how we're going to elevate ourselves, we're going to have to step back, but it has a strong hold on us. So I can only speak to the individuals. I can only speak to the people that's willing to step away from the entertainment's strong pull on us, because it's not going to get you nowhere. It's not going to offer you nothing. And it's only a way for social engineering us into thinking that this is normal. Now, all of the things that you may see for black entertainment, if you was to experience that in real life, you would be completely traumatized. Lifestyle, because TV says it's cool. Snoop Dogg say it's cool. My friends seem to give me a lot of respect when I start utilizing this energy, so I'm gonna just run with it. Okay, but it's all because of influence. You don't come. No child is born a gangster. Right? That just don't never happen. Children are born sweet, loving, and needing affection, and sometimes they don't get it. So, next page.
My nephew was born kind of bad.
It's
some kids. Yeah, it is some kids.
I met baby goons when I was in Chattanooga. No, I'm not. This is a serious thing. And I was in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
I know for a fact I used to absorb hip hop music, and it made me want to be a hip hop. Like what I was listening, I was trying to embody. Now I listen to John Coltrane all day, and I don't even know what he trying to tell me. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to turn me into an alien or something like that. You know?
Friends call me old because they'll hear me playing. My old friends will call me because I hear me playing that's my favorite instrument, the saxophone. He's cold,
yeah.
So I just be listening, and they be like, "Girl, you an old lady." I'm like, this stimulates your mind. I listen to piano and stuff because that type of music makes your brain work better.
Oh yeah, if you're trying to do stuff and trying to be productive, you want to listen to music that stimulates that, and you will never be able to study for an exam listening to hip. If we turn our page, what we're looking at is our throat chakra, and yes, right there.
Is this in the book? Because I can't see these words on the side.
This is not actually in the book, and it's just more or less trying to highlight the throat chakra.
Okay.
And really trying to point out the fact that our inner truth is what we'll be able to put forward, but we have to really find that inner truth. And the reality of a block, like anybody saying that your throat chakra is blocked, and even if that is the fact, is more or less of a lie in reference to who you are. It's easy for you to not express yourself if you don't see yourself as a goddess. If you don't see yourself as a god, and if you say, well, I'm a black woman from Detroit, I had it hard, and this, that, and the third, and that all may be true, but that's all a lie, because you're a goddess that was reincarnated and nobody told you your history, and now you have to figure out your history, and it's like you got to figure out who you are. And this is something that happens internally over time. This is why people meditate in India and all over the world, not for anything external, but for the internal recognition of the self. And as a person who would meditate and not feel nothing for years, that's probably sometimes what it takes to get to a point where I don't feel that way now. But I remember that feeling of, this is stupid. What the hell am I doing? Right? There's nothing happening. But you got to sit with that. Because it's a real thing to feel like spirit just don't mess with me or talk to me. Like, go ahead.
Is it a thing where, because I probably sound crazy, I know I do. When I was in college, took a spirituality class and talked about, that's the reason why I know my chakras and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I was afraid after I did meditation. I was very afraid because I meditated for 3 hours. I was only supposed to do a 15-minute session. So I grew up, Christian or whatever. So I was like, I did not think it was the devil, but like at that moment, I was not proud. Like my professor, he was trying to like uplift me, like, that's so beautiful. You were so in tune. And this is before I knew that I could read or any of this stuff. So I'm like, no, I set a 15-minute timer and I was there for 3 hours. I'm like, what was that? And I just couldn't believe it. And we had a meditation journal where we had to meditate every 15 minutes. But I remember dreading meditation every single time because I was like, I'm finna astral project. Something weird finna happen. So is that like a thing where I kind of
because you don't know who you are,
yeah,
and you will have a reaction to the facts of not knowing who you are as a goddess, as a reincarnated goddess. Like, you were born as a little girl, and you had to have your mom and dad protect you, and this is true. But the whole entire time, there were things that your mom and dad didn't know about you, so they didn't pour it into you. So now that you are engaging in your ninth house or in your higher learning, your true learning about yourself, it startles you because you don't have a educational fundamental understanding of who you are. And that reality that you're speaking to is basically all of our black women and all of our black men. We don't know who we are. Okay? We're just told what we need to do and whether we can do that good or bad. But the most fundamental aspect to meditation is that you get an opportunity to figure out who you are. And nobody can tell you that. Nobody can teach you that. And the more that you can meditate and it's a beautiful thing, right? But everything that you experience is beautiful. But if nobody telling you who you are and you have this power, it's like it's a real power and it's going to do nothing but scare you. And so many of our black women experience the power and is not being supported. So it's something to fear. So now it's a lot of people that say, I won't. That's some devil. I ain't messing with that. And them is our most powerful people. Because it's real to them. They can actually, everything that I'm saying, I can meditate for 5 years and see nothing. You can meditate off a class and see everything. Because this is who you are. right? But you need to begin to embrace who you are and really take it seriously because it's who you are. Next page. Just as we have a physical body, we have an etheric body or an energy body. An etheric body is made up of energy or light. There is physicality and there is energy. Human beings are the bridge. A squirrel will get nuts, gather nuts, play with his squirrel friends, climb up and down trees. Human beings will build a building, a railroad, a spaceship, a helicopter. What is that? That's intelligence. That's light. And you have that in abundance. But you don't recognize it. Nobody tells you it. It's nothing but confusion, darkness, and misunderstanding. And maybe a couple of dollars in a nice house. But overall, you don't know who you are. So this cycle continues. And then you look at our neighborhoods and it's like, well, what's missing? We just don't realize who we are. In the moment that we realize who we are, there is light within us because we can think about things at a higher level. We're not just animals. We are intelligent beings, but we're not trying to bring that intelligence out. How do you bring that intelligence out? Through your voice. That's how you know. Right? That's how you can understand what I'm saying, because as we can read further, words have weight, sound, and appearance. Okay? The amount of energy that you put into your words is how they're going to feel. Now, you could think about impacting society. You can think about uplifting humanity. And then you can say, that's what I want to say, or that's what I want to do. And you don't know the words that you're going to say, but you just know what you're trying to get across, and it works like that. Just really figure out your intention. The words just come, but your intention stands. Your intention, I can look at old videos that I done, and I'm thinking like, who in the hell told him to get on the mic and start speaking? Go sit your stupid self down, right? But people was like, oh, this is so great. This is so amazing. The intention was stronger than the actual product. And it fueled me along the process. But if I was to think back then that I thought I was doing the thing. When I look back, I was looking crazy. But when you really have an intention to be successful, you don't have to be great. When you first start off, you just have to say, my intention is to be great, and I'm going to stand in my greatness even if I'm not great. This is how you begin to project your voice. And your voice is in reference to who you are attempting to become. And this is not something that you wait on, actually. You start right now. In reference to who you are becoming, it starts now. And you stay, is becoming and being are the same thing, right? But if you're not up to the challenge and you really don't understand who you are, everything is super complicated. And I'm trying to simplify this process. As I stated earlier, activating the throat chakra is how you get what you want. And everybody that's manifesting, they're using their words to manifest. In the energy associated, a way to get energy behind your words is to get it notarized. That's energy behind words. If you got a girlfriend or boyfriend situation, let's start saying what this relationship is about, what we're hoping to manifest. And if you're serious about this, let's go to a notary and notarize what we are saying in reference to what we are trying to build our relationship into. That's words and energy. Or just, I love you, love you, love you. And then what happened to the person you love? Well, we broke up.
Deceitful smile.
It's not really the words, it's the energy. So if you think about your throat chakra being your voice, then this is all your projections. This is everything that you want to be and everything that you want to do. You can't fake that. You gotta really, I know y'all seen people who say, oh yeah, I'm starting this today. And you like, okay. See them 2 months later. What happened to that thing you said you were starting? You know. Well. So it's a difference from just saying something, and it's a difference between holding that energy. And this is the difference between the throat chakra activating versus being completely disconnected and just saying stuff to say stuff. And let's flip a page as I kind of get through. So these next 2-3 pages are a lead up to the thyroid. Now, the thyroid is the master gland because it sits right in the neck. The most important thing about the neck is that it is literally the highway for your whole body. Every nerve and every blood vessel that goes to your brain has to travel through here. So your body is wide. And then everything narrows out to have everything exist in your throat, right? So this is everything. This is your whole entire life force. If anything happens to this, it's a trouble.
That's why you can break someone's neck.
You can really hurt somebody from their neck because everything exists here. If you hurt my arm, hurt my leg, I might be messed up, but don't touch my neck because this is everything, right? So mainly the gland that sits in your neck is your thyroid. Your thyroid is controlling your hormones. Your hormones in this context is the difference between physical and spiritual. When you start to do the meditations and really get a sense of self, it begins to change you. If you ever saw somebody that took their spiritual journey seriously, you will also see their body change, the way they talk change, who they become change. And you know that they serious about their spiritual life. It could be a Christian, Muslim, don't matter. They serious about their spiritual life because they really changed. Like, boy, you done changed. That's an endocrine hormonal change in reference to having a divine experience. So when we talk about the spiritual, we're talking about it being real. Not something that we talking about on YouTube, and we can do that. And Instagram, we can do that. But to fully get into it for real, you start to change your body, way you talk, everything. But it's not because you're listening to this great new speaker on YouTube or follow this cool person on YouTube. It's because you start to meditate and listen to your ancient self. And then not listening, but acting. Listening and speaking, because the ears and the throat and the voice, they work as one. So if you listening and not speaking, that's like a block. Or if you're speaking and not listening, you empty. But really getting to the point that you listen to yourself. I like to keep a little journal after my meditation. Start writing stuff down for what I see. And then I usually talk about it on my YouTube channel. If you feel like you're serious about the spiritual journey, start a YouTube channel. You don't got to put no videos on it, but you're going to have to start sharing. You're going to have to start speaking and getting used to it. And as you do it, it'll help you in your personal life, even if nobody watches your videos. But it's so helpful for me to speak, to clear it out of my mind, to then be zero.
I'm glad you said that. I make YouTube videos speaking on all type of topics, and you 100% correct about that. You know, even if nobody watch my videos, I have, bettered myself by listening to,
1,000%.
My own words, like, dang, I never.
You are your own God. So when I started my YouTube channel, I would listen to myself because I would study stuff that I didn't know. And then I'm like, I'm not going to remember that. Let me do a YouTube video. And I used to drive trucks. So I would just sit and listen to myself. And the more I listen to myself, I say, boy, you sure sound crazy. Might need to work on that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You got to critique yourself and better yourself. And as you critique yourself and better yourself, the audience will come. Right? That's just the thing. So just keep working on it and keep making yourself and your conversation a little bit more intuitive. And as you keep speaking, people will come. But you really don't want to talk for the people. You really want to talk to listen to yourself. And even if you don't have a YouTube channel, everybody got iPhones or Androids. All of these phones got voice recorders. I am a goddess. I am a goddess. I am a goddess. I am a goddess. Just start there. Because you're going to have to tell yourself who you are. And even if you're not your goddess, whatever you can consider yourself are, I am the universe. You're going to have to start telling yourself that in your own voice because you are your own God. So you got to listen and speak, and it's cyclical and reciprocal, and it's very much of how you activate your throat chakra. So the thyroid, our second to last page. I kind of flipped through these pages, so you want to just kind of end up on this page right here.
We don't have the word at the bottom, right?
Yeah, it's no words. You don't have it?
No, so it's just this one, right?
Yeah, that one. Sorry.
My last page.
It probably... it's really a meditative point. And I really want y'all to understand that thyroid is a lot of people, especially our women, have a lot of trouble in our thyroids because we don't speak our truths. We imagine that our truths is going to get us beat up or ostracized or people not going to like us. And that all may be true. But you still going to have to speak your truth. Because it's going to be 2 people that don't like you. And it's going to be 100 people that love you. That's the reality. But we're going to always focus on those 2 people that don't like us. Because that's how our amygdala functions. It likes to focus on negative things because the negative things keep us safe. If I got 100 people loving me, my amygdala is not going to focus on that because the 100 people is good. They're not going to hurt me. They're not going to take me out. But these 2 people over here, they might really hurt me. So I got to put all of my focus on these 2 people.
That's deep.
Right? That's how our amygdala functions. So when we talk about our third eye and our crown chakra, it's not a point of trying to, it's a result of eliminating our fear and speaking our truth. You can't speak your truth if you're afraid.
Thank you.
You said the amygdala?
Amygdala, AMYGD. We're going to talk about that next week or whenever I do the third eye.
Oh, okay.
Yep. That,
Can you spell it? Because I want to do some home research on it.
yeah, AMYGDALA.
Spell it again.
AMYGDA. Oh, sorry.
I'm a little over. AMYG.
DALA.
I'm glad you just said that because I write and stuff, and that's always been one of my main focuses. How as people we focus on negativity too much.
Just a natural thing.
It's not even like on purpose. It's just natural.
Yeah.
Like, you can do 10 amazing things in a day, and the second something go wrong, you had a bad day.
Yeah, and that's all you're going to focus on, and it's a brain function, right?
It's like a survival.
It's a survival mechanism because the great things is going to keep me going, so I don't need to focus on that. It's this negative thing that's going to mess up the whole thing, so it's like I'm having a great day, and I got pulled over a couple of days ago, and I was upset about it. Then I started to think like, well, you ran a red light. So you need to figure out how to slow down and now when I'm driving, I'm just a little bit more cognizant of the road, so it's not necessarily a bad thing that we even do that. It's kind of like what we need to address, right? And it might be those 2 people that might slow up the whole entire process to what you got going, and you might need to eliminate those 2 people so you could begin to love these 100 people over here. And it's really the communication is really the roadblock or the freer of your overall success, right? So I just want y'all to have the communication with yourself too, more, and that will lead to your communication with others. And of course, it's a lot more to talk about this, but it's more in reading in the books and taking your notes and utilizing me for a resource if y'all got any questions. So I'm going to go into a quick 5 to 7 meditation just centered on listening to yourself. And I'm going to just ask if we could just all unify our energy and centering ourselves, because it's very important to listen to yourself. And if anybody has a timer, I'm not even going to say anything because that's exactly, that's the word I was looking for. But I really want you to, for 5 minutes, not input anything, but just listen as deep as you can, okay? And bottle this for later throughout the week or when you're meditating at home, to not input into your meditation but completely receive from the self. And I'll do the same thing as everyone else, and we're just going to sit here in 5 minutes in silence and listen as deep as we can. Cool?
Stop the timer already. You have to start.
We're just sitting and just listening.
Do we have to close our eyes?
You don't?
Okay, now explain that to us again, what we're doing.
Can you give us like a...
Yes. So what we're doing, and you could pause the timer.
Reset it.
Yes. What we're doing is trying to listen to ourselves in the deep, most intimate way. And we can't listen to ourselves if we're input into ourselves. So the main thing is to catch yourself inputting. Is the door locked? All these types of things that may or may not happen, and you're inputting into this meditation. But as you recognize the things that you're attempting to input, just kind of circle around it, push it out the way, and bring yourself centered back into yourself as much as you can. For 5 minutes, try to push. It might be you pushing things away, but if you are attempting to push things away, you are centering yourself and you are listening to yourself. So I'm saying this as an introductory meditation, but something that can get better over time. Right. So are you any more questions before we start? And try to be as quiet as possible, because if you begin to, move and things like that, people will pick up on that. So just try to be as still and as quiet and listen intently, and try not to think for 5 minutes, but simply listen to yourself. And I'm ready whenever you guys are.
Start.
How was that? That shows you that a 5-minute meditation is a very long time in the realms of meditation. So you're never too busy to meditate. You could take 5 minutes out of your day and find that space of inner peace. It is like, if you're serious about your spiritual development or your personal development and your personal wealth